to week 2 of Specializations. Just a week overview, and we are going to again go to the tips and tricks. We're going to the web dev self tracker, and that's how I'm looking at this, what I'm specifically looking at. Should be able to find it there. And so, week 2. You've just gone over just a review. This week, you have gone over the basics of Git. We've gone over GitHub. We've gone over some JavaScript things, review on HTML and CSS. We went over VS Code, which is what we're going to be using now, if you haven't already. And most of it's been review so far. So this week, half of this week will be React, is something new that you'll be learning. But the first 2 days is going to be more JavaScript. So Monday and Tuesday here, these lectures are, you can already tell by their titles. Try to get that out of the way again. So you can already tell by the titles, like we have JavaScript functions, JavaScript objects, and then we have React, the big picture. This is kind of like the first step into what React is. Again, I want you to take note that we have here some suggested React things. In this tutorial, I've looked at it again recently, and it might be a bit much. But this is another Pluralsight video that someone suggested that I believe would be helpful as well. If you want to take some time to watch that, to kind of review it. This is your first introduction to it, so don't worry about it too much. And then these here are all just practice with JavaScript, including this building a simple shopping game. It's just practicing JavaScript, and this is like a game that is built inside of Terminal or your command line or command prompt game. And so it's one of those things that it's not what we're really building. Here we're going to be building up websites, of course, but it's practice with JavaScript. And that's why we're having you do it. And then on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we are working on React. And you are going to be working on React all week this week as well. So this is all React stuff. React toy problems. This is just practice. This is a dev mountain. You'll see how it changes instructions is a bit different. This is things that dev mountain has made. You'll probably like these more than the ones Pluralsight gave you. At least that's what I hear pretty consistently. React toy problems. This is going to test just passing information or changing information up. React drills. Again, this is just basically building out a you're playing inside of React. You're getting used to React, right? This Wednesday, React getting started is commonly, most people find this as a very hard day. Obviously, this is 4 hours lecture. You'll notice we have quite a bit of help here, including this. This is the same thing, just to show you real fast. So this is something that you get in your lecture, and they show you this thing here. This is using something called class-based components, and I build something out using hooks or functional components, which is a newer thing, and you just copy and paste this into here and it will work. Just showing you the differences. And then for the lecture that you're watching, also I've created 2 GitHub repositories, one in hooks and one in class-based components. And you can try flipping it from one to the other. Just so you know, again, the SME column here for some extra help to understand some of the things that you're going to be learning. But that's what I would want you to walk away from the end of this week is I would want you to, by the end of this week, I want you to understand what is a functional component in React. I, of course, want you to practice JavaScript stuff. Make sure that you're comfortable with JavaScript. You understand what objects are and arrays. You know what an array is, you know what an object is. You know how to edit a property on an object, and you know how to edit a index in an array. You know how to edit those things. You know how to dig into those things with dot notation and bracket notation. You know how to use methods, like maybe adding things to an array with split, push, unshift, pop, splice, slice, things like that, right? You know of them at least. You know that they exist. You know what a for loop is, a dot map. You've heard of it. If these things are sounding familiar, you're right on track. Again, with React functional and class-based components, you know generally what they are, and you've practiced them a bit, and you've gotten used to them a little. I would highly recommend going back here and try flipping it from one to the other, or just starting with one at least. You know of that there's two of them and what they generally look like. Um, and I think that's pretty much what I would want you to know on that. And then uh, that's week two. Your intro to React. Again, this is a brand new. You start the first time you've ever seen it, maybe is on Monday as a brief glance, and then Wednesday you really hit into it. And there's a lot to be learned, and you're only going to be digesting this information over the course of 5 days in this week and 3 days this week. So it's quite it's quite a lot to take in at one time. Feel free to utilize that queue. We'd love to see you there.